Discipline is art. Yeah, I think it is because it's beautiful for me to see. When I see someone who's really truly disciplined, who like a David Goggins, someone who just like truly maximizes the grind, I feel like there's an art to that.
They told you to manifest your dream life, but never told you how to master your mind. They told you to ask, believe, receive, but never mentioned the discipline it takes to become what you asked for. Here's the truth they won't say out loud. You can't master the universe if you haven't mastered yourself. You can't control reality when your emotions control you. You can't expect the forces of the universe to submit to your will when you haven't even submitted to your higher self. Let that sink in. Whether you find that truth humbling or empowering, it doesn't matter. Because here's the law. Self-mastery is not optional. It is the spiritual infrastructure of manifestation, and most people skip it entirely. But the universe doesn't skip steps. It mirrors you, exactly as you are. Most people think the universe is out there, something external. But here's the metaphysical law no one told you in school. You are not in the universe. The universe is in you. It mirrors your frequency, not your words, not your wishes, your self-governance. How you manage your inner world, your thoughts, emotions, discipline, is exactly how the outer world will respond. Your life is just your internal leadership reflected outward. If you're chaotic inside, life will give you chaos. If you're indecisive, life will delay you. If you're dishonest with yourself, life will send people who lie to you. This is not punishment. It's precision. It's a mirror. Most people don't realize there's no separation in consciousness. If you're messy in your room, you're probably messy in your mind. If you're undisciplined with your habits, that bleeds into your relationships. If you procrastinate in one area, it ripples into every area. How you do one thing is how you do everything. You're not being punished. You're being shown. And the lesson? Govern yourself, or be governed by your limitations. They told you to just believe. They said, speak it into existence. But they left out the infrastructure behind the manifestation process. Here's the real formula they never taught you. Discipline equals self-trust, equals conviction, equals manifestation. This is the spiritual supply chain. Let's break it down. Discipline equals self-trust. Discipline isn't punishment, it's proof. It's how you show yourself that your word has weight. And every time you follow through, even when it's hard, you're laying another brick in the foundation of your inner world. Waking up when you said you would? Brick. Saying no to what drains you? Brick. Finishing what you start? Another brick. Self-trust is the house you build, one action at a time. But here's the catch. When you break promises to yourself, it's like pulling bricks out of the base. Eventually, the whole structure starts to wobble. You feel unstable. You second-guess everything. And even your highest vision starts to collapse under the weight of inconsistency. So if you're wondering why your manifestation feels shaky, check your foundation. Are you building or are you undoing? Because without discipline, your words don't hold power. And if you don't believe you, why would the universe? Self-trust equals conviction. Now here's where the alchemy begins. When you've built enough self-trust, when you've kept enough promises to yourself, you begin to develop a new inner posture. Conviction. Conviction is different from belief. Belief still entertains doubt. Conviction says, this is already mine. I'm just aligning with it. Conviction isn't loud. It's not about hype or hype man energy. It's quiet, but immovable. It's the calm knowing that you're operating from truth. And when you have conviction, the universe stops testing you and starts trusting you. Conviction equals manifestation. This is the final unlock. Manifestation doesn't respond to desperation. It doesn't respond to wishful thinking. It responds to certainty. It responds to identity. It responds to conviction. The moment your inner world becomes a match for the version of you that already has the thing, that's when reality bends, not a second before. Let's say someone wants to be a successful entrepreneur. They buy the books. They watch the motivational videos. They even write "I am wealthy" in their journal every day. But they keep hitting snooze in the morning. They don't follow through on their business ideas. They procrastinate when it's time to take bold action. So what happens? Even though they believe in success, they haven't proven to themselves that they can be trusted to live like someone successful. There's no self-trust, no discipline. So the universe doesn't mirror back results because there's no conviction to energize the frequency. But now imagine this. They set a small goal. Wake up at 6 a.m. for 1 week. They follow through. Then they commit to one task per day that scares them, and they do it. After 30 days of showing up, they're not just hoping for success. They start to embody it. Their energy changes. They feel aligned, grounded, and powerful. That's conviction. And it's not fake. It's earned. That's the power of this formula. It's not theoretical, it's mechanical. Discipline fuels trust. Trust matures into conviction. Conviction commands the universe. You want to change your outer world? Start by becoming someone you can trust in your inner world. Because manifestation doesn't begin with vision, it begins with vibration. And the vibration only becomes real when it's backed by evidence. Your evidence. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you're laying a brick in the foundation of your inner power. Brick by brick, you build stability, alignment, and confidence. But every time you break a promise, "I'll start tomorrow," just this once, you're not just pausing progress, you're pulling bricks out of the structure. And when that foundation is weak, you hesitate. You overthink. You stop trusting your own direction. It's not a lack of motivation that's holding you back. It's a lack of self-trust. That's why your manifestations feel delayed. The universe isn't ignoring you. It's waiting for your foundation to be solid enough to support what you asked for. Self-mastery isn't about being perfect. It's not about rigid control or punishing discipline. It's about energetic alignment, consistently choosing thoughts, actions, and habits that match your highest self. If you're serious about shifting your frequency and stepping into a new reality, then your daily rituals must reflect that intention. Here are some practices that strengthen alignment and anchor your identity in mastery. 1. Meditation. Not for escape, but for mental governance. Use meditation not just to feel calm, but to train the mind to obey your will, to observe your thoughts without becoming them, to remind yourself, you are not your urges. You are the observer, the commander. Just 10 minutes of intentional stillness can build the inner muscle of control. 2. Fasting. Not just for the body, but to reclaim sovereignty over desire. Whether it's intermittent fasting or simply pausing gratification, the practice teaches this. You are not ruled by cravings. Every no you give to impulse is a yes to alignment. Fasting is a declaration. Desires don't dictate my behavior. I do. 3. Silence. A detox for the ego's addiction to validation. Choose to be quiet, intentionally. Skip the need to always speak, always react, always explain yourself. In silence, the ego weakens and the soul sharpens. Silence is sacred. It says, I don't need to be seen to exist. I am. Honor the mundane, because spiritual energy flows through even the smallest tasks. Answer the email. Fold the laundry. Show up on time. Clean your physical space. Why? Because how you do anything is how you do everything. The universe doesn't compartmentalize your energy. Your vibration is shaped not just in big spiritual moments, but in the micro decisions you make daily. Final principle. Every act of discipline is a declaration. Every time you follow through, you're saying to the universe, "My word is law." And when your word becomes law in your life, your world obeys. Because manifestation doesn't begin with what you say. It begins with what you embody. Discipline isn't restrictive. It's a spiritual technology, a tool for turning your inner reality into your outer results. So don't aim for perfection. Aim for consistency. Aim for energetic integrity. Aim for alignment. That's where the power lives. This is where most people get it wrong. They think the spiritual work is just journaling, manifestation rituals, vision boards. That's part of it. But the real work, saying no to people who drain you, showing up when it's inconvenient, letting go of the habit you've outgrown, doing what your higher self would do, even when no one's watching. That's where power is born. Let's clear something up. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're not unmotivated. You're simply stuck in an identity that doesn't match the action you're trying to take. Your body isn't failing you. Your frequency is misaligned with your intention. Let me show you how this works. You want to go to the gym, but in your core identity, you still see yourself as out of shape, undisciplined, or not a gym person. So what happens? Your body stalls. Your mind negotiates. Your energy resists the action. Why? Because the frequency of the action you want to take doesn't align with the frequency of who you believe you are. That's not laziness. That's a vibrational mismatch. Here's another example. You want to build your dream business, but deep down, you still see yourself as the one who never follows through. So instead of starting that website, recording that video, or launching that offer, you scroll, you overthink, you do everything except the thing. Again, not laziness. Just your subconscious defending the identity it's familiar with. Because the ego will always fight for the frequency it knows, even if that frequency is limiting. And even with something as simple as replying to a message, you leave it unread, not because it's hard, but because it represents a level of responsibility or presence that your current identity doesn't fully embody yet. You see, it's not about the task. It's about the energetic identity behind the task. The solution, identity first, action second. Most people try to act their way into a new identity. But that's like trying to change the radio station by yelling at the speaker. You don't become disciplined by waiting for the motivation to arrive. You become disciplined by declaring a new frequency, now. Then letting your actions rise to match it. Speak it. I am aligned. I am disciplined. I am the master of my energy. Say it before you feel it. Say it until you feel it. Then prove it. One small, courageous action at a time. Lay out your workout clothes the night before, open the laptop and write 100 words, send the message you've been avoiding. Clean one corner of the room, say no to just one thing that drains you. These aren't just productivity tips. They're rituals of realignment. They are acts of identity reinforcement. You don't manifest by forcing the outer world to change. You manifest by becoming the version of yourself who already has it. So ask yourself, if the highest version of me took over my body right now, what would they do? Then do that. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Because manifestation doesn't respond to your goals. It responds to your identity. Let's bring it home. If you want to manifest love, you must embody love. If you want to manifest wealth, you must walk in wealth mentally, emotionally, and energetically. If you want to be powerful, start with honoring your own word. Because when you govern yourself with honor, the universe honors you in return. So here's your assignment. Write down what you know you should be doing, but keep avoiding. Write down what you know you shouldn't be doing, but keep repeating. And then take one aligned action today. You're not here to chase your dream life. You're here to remember. You already are it. Your frequency is your future. Your word is your wand. And your alignment is the altar. Now walk like it. Because the universe doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to who you are.